What will you do if aliens make contact?
Or when they make contact. Let's talk about that.
Hi, we're the Stamps from Minnesota.
Good Mythical Morning.
Good Mythical Morning.
We don't just make this show, Link. We actually read the comments that are made underneath the show. That's
Yes,
one of the
yes, we do, right?
The best things about doing a show on the internet is that you can go to the place where you're supposed to watch it, and you can look below it, and there's comments from people.
You think that is a good thing? You think that's the best thing?
The best thing.
The best thing is being
about
able
my life
to express myself
is your comments
and be who I truly am, and still be embraced by people watching on little screens. That just is what I need.
You need
in
an
life.
embrace? I can hug you. I got long arms. I can get all the way around you.
I need a digital embrace from those people. Digital embrace.
It doesn't feel as good as a real one, but you know what? That's what you got a wife for. That's not why I'm here.
I think what you're getting at, Rhett,
Hugs.
is what?
It's all about hugs. No, it's all about your comments. And in the comments, you ask questions. That's a cool thing too. They can ask questions in the comments.
Right.
Think about it.
And tomorrow we'll answer a lot of questions, but today we're going to address a very common question from you mythical beasts.
We've been talking amongst ourselves, and that's Jason and Link and I, and we've talked about all these comments that we get, and there are three currents of comments that we get that come up, themes that come up. One is, can we meet your wives? No.
Nope.
The second one is, can you switch hairstyles?
Probably not.
Not going to happen. And then the third one is, what do you think about aliens? Guys, talk about aliens. I want to know aliens.
I'm a little surprised that you want us to talk about aliens, but I'm okay with that. I'm not averse to it, and it could get a little scary, and I am averse to that. But okay, here we go. Let's talk about aliens.
We have some distinct opinions about aliens, and the first thing I will say is that I do believe that they exist. But I do not believe that we have made contact with them. I do not believe.
Okay.
I am not on the same page as Dan Aykroyd. Dan Aykroyd is crazy. Like, there's this Netflix documentary that you can, I don't know if it's still on there, but you can go, and it's Dan Aykroyd sitting in like a dark room filmed with like a digital 8 camera, and he's just like smoking a cigarette and talking about aliens and all this weird stuff.
But he's a comedian.
He's gone crazy. That's why they're not doing Ghostbusters 3, because Dan Aykroyd went crazy.
No, it's because Bill Murray doesn't want to do it.
And that is an important thing.
I think Dan does want to do Ghostbusters.
Egon is sitting around just waiting. He's like, I'll do it. I want to do it. I want to have a career.
He's written 3 through 10.
Right.
So you believe that aliens exist, or you want to believe they exist?
Well, first of all, there is no way to definitively know unless you've been probed by one, and I haven't been probed by one. There's no way to. It's not
like looking
always,
for a hole?
It's not always there. It could be a.
They use existing
No,
holes.
it could be a nasal probe.
That's why you can't tell.
And
Aliens use existing holes when probing.
I believe that just based on statistics. Now, first of all, you can go back to 1961, where the Drake equation.
Actually,
was.
I can't go back to 1961. I'd like to be able to do that.
That's
time travel, and I don't believe in that.
His name is Frank Drake, and he came up with this equation that's based on the rate of formation of suitable stars and the fraction of those stars that are orbited by planets, the number of Earth-like worlds per planetary system, the fraction of planets where intelligent life develops, the fraction of possible communicative planets, and the lifetime of possible communicative civilizations. So, first of all, there's a lot of head shaking from Link and a lot of assumptions.
A lot of blinking.
Okay, from Dr. Drake. So I'm not. There's nothing conclusive about this, but it represents some. There's some logical approach to it that says that according to these speculations, they're definitely speculations and assumptions, but they're based on observations of the universe. That there could be as many as 10,000 planets just in the Milky Way that might have life that is intelligent, that would have the ability to communicate with us on some level.
So the argument is that odds are in the favor of aliens existing.
Right, because you know how big the universe is, right? You've been to one of those things where the guy's up there and he's like, here we are in this gym right now. Do you have any idea how big the universe is? If we were to fill this whole gym up with basketballs, and there would be 1 billion basketballs inside this, and each one of those basketballs represents a galaxy. And inside that basketball, if we would put that many more basketballs inside of this little basketball, inside of this big universe that is this gymnasium right here, that would be a solar system. And if we were to put, you know how it goes. It's bigger than you can possibly imagine.
Right.
And there are more planets out there. So probability says that there is intelligent life out there. And eventually, we will probably have contact with it. And the question today is, what are we going to do if it happens in our lifetime? That's really what I want to talk about.
Oh, and you believe when it happens, but if it's in our lifetime,
I think it will happen eventually. But it won't happen in our lifetime. But I hope it does.
I don't have an opinion. Like I am hopeful that aliens exist, but only under certain stipulations. Like because again, the question is, what are we going to do when they come? Well, my question is, what are they going to be like when they come? And I prefer to believe that they're going to be like E.T. And then, it's just going to be a lot of touching of fingers and glowing of fingertips and a lot of happiness. Or like Alf, like he came and he was hairy and
he's a puppet, though.
And he stayed in.
And at least E.T. looked like it could be a real alien. I mean, especially for like a 1984 movie.
But that's what I'm hoping for, like an E.T. meets Alf kind of scenario. And then I'm all for believing in aliens.
Okay.
I mean, if these are like the ugly aliens that like with the big eyes that probe you and stuff, like, well, I'm not
Alf
for that.
Probes too. That was an episode that never got greenlit. Stephen Hawking would disagree with you, and I think I would also. In his book, Stephen Hawking's Universe, he says, we only have to look at ourselves, and he kind of speaks in a robot voice, but I'm not going to try to do an impersonation.
Right. Don't do that.
That would be insensitive.
It's mean.
We only have to look at ourselves to see how intelligent life might develop into something we wouldn't want to meet.
He said he speaks in a robot voice. A robot speaks for him.
I know
That's
that.
different.
Don't prolong this. I imagine they might exist in massive ships, having used up all the resources from their home planet. Such advanced aliens would perhaps become nomads, looking to conquer and colonize whatever planets they can reach.
Conquer. He's saying they're going to be conquering beings in ships because they've used all of their own resources.
Well, that's definitely a scenario, but you just think about us, right? And you can use, and actually in this article where we pulled this out, they use this example of, think about how it turned out when Columbus came over here. Things didn't go too well for the Native
American Indians,
right? And so and it wasn't necessarily because there's all kinds of reasons why it didn't go well. Even if the aliens have some sort of great intent in coming and making contact with us, who's to say that we won't all get killed anyway?
Well, there's a Star Trek movie, I'm told, because I know nothing about this.
First Contact.
But that the Vulcans came to this world, and Spock, he was a pointy-eared Vulcan.
Yep.
If it wasn't for him, we would not have any of the things that make Star Trek Star Trek.
Well, I think like
warp drive and happiness.
Yeah, Warp Drive and Happiness is my favorite band in high school. When they do show up, and first of all, this has been played out in so many TV shows.
Even if they're well intended, they're going to be conquering. They're going to subvert the human race.
I'm saying that we're going to have to make a choice. Okay, if you are familiar with the TV series V, which recently came back for a couple of seasons,
they rebooted it. Yeah.
But basically, the story is that the aliens come and they set up shop, on Earth,
like a shoe repair shop,
and then they look like humans, and are they one of the aliens or are they a human? And then everybody's like, oh, but they're nice and they're doing great things for us and they're bringing things to us. And then there's the resistance. So in any scenario, and District 9, kind of a similar thing. In any scenario in which there's an alien contact, you and I
have a choice to make.
You're going to make a choice. Are you with them? Or are you against them?
Because you're saying even if they're nice, you're saying you got to choose. Are you going to trust their niceness?
If they there's without a doubt, whether or not they have great intent, if they get here before we get to them, that means that their technology is far superior to ours, and that means that they're going to dominate us and rule over us, regardless of how nice they are. They might be nice rulers, alien rulers, but we will be subject to them. And the question is, are you going to be like, hey, I want to be vice president, aliens?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm one of you guys. Look, my ear can get pointy too. Or whatever they have. Maybe they're green. Maybe you start drinking chlorophyll or something so you can be green.
Transformers Dark of the Moon,
Dark Side of the Moon?
I think it's just called Dark of the Moon.
Okay, I don't
It's not
think
Dark
so.
Side of the Moon. I don't know. I did watch it though, and you know the guy from Patrick Dempsey. Well, he's the guy from Grey's Anatomy. He was the human who became their vice president, dude. Like, hey, I'm gonna do whatever you want, and you know what happened at the end? He got crushed by the alien transformer race. The Decepticons.
I think that if you got to choose between...
So I'm not doing that.
So you want to be a part of the rebellion?
Yeah, and it sounds cooler.
It's hey, we're part of this resistance. We live underground. Right. We wear robes, and
we have a secret society of, like, stuff.
And what's his name? Morpheus from the Matrix is our leader. We could probably even get him. What's this guy's name?
Lawrence Fishburne?
Lawrence Fishburne, yeah. I want Lawrence Fishburne to be our leader.
But the Pee-wee's Playhouse version of Lawrence Fishburne.
He was on that?
He was the cowboy.
Cowboy Curtis.
Cowboy Curtis. I mean, Jason knows all about this.
All right. Well, Jason should be with us too then.
Yeah.
So when we see Lawrence Fishburne, we're like, oh yeah, that's Lawrence Fishburne. Welcome, Mr. Fishburne. Lead us.
Resistance led by Cowboy Curtis. And then what? I mean, what do you seem to have thought a lot about
Dark days are ahead. Once the aliens make contact, dark days are ahead for the human race. We will eventually be wiped out. We're going to be subject to them for a certain period of time. But we could have fun doing it. You know what I mean? I mean, being a resistant force, being rebels, that would be fun. Going after them and their crazy plasma rays with little shotguns, like taking a double barrel shotgun out, like sending somebody out with a double barrel shotgun to somebody with a plasma ray. It's like no effect, and then the guy gets disintegrated. I mean, that would be a great way to go out.
That sounds scary to me, man. I just might want to be like the cook for the resistance or something. Like, I'll learn how to cook. I don't even like to cook. I like make pancakes.
You could play the trumpet. You could do
I could be a herald for
you could play
Cowboy Curtis.
Yeah, you played like combat music.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cowboy Curtis,
when we go,
the king of the resistance.
When I go out with a double barrel shotgun to face the resistance or fight the aliens, you play a little tune for me.
And then when you come back in a casket, I'll play little taps.
Yeah.
And are you with us or are you against us? Are you with the aliens? What are you going to do? Leave a note in the comments of what you're going to do.
Because here's how it's going to go down. It's going to start and it's going to be cool and they're going to communicate through music like Close Encounters of the Third Kind and E.T. and there'll be finger pointing and finger lighting.
Finger touching.
It's going to turn bad quickly. And at that point you have a decision to make. Serious ending.
I think you just did a serious thing. Let's take it even further.
Let's get a lot more serious than that.
Listen, there's something we've been meaning to tell you. Are you sitting down? Rhett, do you want to tell them? You want me to tell them?
I don't know if they can take it.
I don't know if they can take it. Maybe they should take some allergy medicine, make them drowsy first.
Here's the reality.
You know how some parents do to their kids when they fly? Not me. I wouldn't do that to my kids.
Here's the reality. When one of these shows starts, inevitably it must end. We don't have a perpetual show ever. It isn't as if the show is going to continue forever.
Right. I know you were thinking
it has an end.
You were thinking it, but it's not true, and we're bursting your bubble.
And when it begins,
figuratively,
you need to be clear and understand that the ending is just a few minutes away from the beginning.
You don't have a real bubble. I'm not bursting an actual bubble.
So maybe we should just do it now.